Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy Elfmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
That's right. Yes. We're on the second day of the new year. Yes. 2024. Happy 8th day of Elfmas, everyone. Yes. There, Murray has joined us. Excellent. We have a few people coming and joining us. It is scheduled. Yes, it is scheduled for today at noon. I mentioned that yesterday, but I guess there was a little confusion about that. Oh,
I mentioned it again at the end.
You did mention it again at the end. I saw that.
It wasn't in the. I was like, oh, let me go check the document, and it wasn't.
I hadn't put it in the document. No. And so tomorrow's will also be at 12 noon. Right?
Okay. All the live casts on Discord are listed at noon. So. Yes. When in doubt, we're probably here at 12.
Probably here at 12. Yeah, I can change the time, and I will. I have been when it is better for the elf. But as you see, you just have the 3 lead elves today, because the elf who did all the work for today's is Stanley Baraboo or Jerry Baraboo. He goes by either of those. So depending on when you met him or how you met him, you can call him Stanley. You can call him Jerry. We call him Mon Ami. He deals with a lot of French records, but he is already double booked, and he said he would get in trouble if he booked himself one more time.
Right.
We don't want you to get in trouble. So, and I have invited the Wish E, but he has not replied. So we will. The Wish E will watch after the fact, hopefully. But let me sing to begin. I won't forget now. And actually, I can even share my screen.
No hat today?
No hat. I do have my hat. Wait a second. Let me get my hat on.
And I have
my goodness, there's so many things to remember. Oh, there we go. Yes, I have to have my hat on.
It was terrible.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm on the west coast of the United States. I tried getting up.
Nope.
I tried getting up, but I just couldn't. I'm sorry.
It was nice to get up to a quiet household though yesterday and do this.
Yeah, that's right. 3 lead elves, Aaron, not meat elves.
Aaron.
I mean, we're made of flesh and bone, so I guess we're meat elves in a way. But lead is what I meant. L-E-A-D. Yes. So, yeah, and thanks also to Betsy who popped in yesterday and held the fort while I had to go off and play at church and stuff. So there we go. So for the 8th day, on the 8th day of Elfmas, 2 kind elves gave to me 8 direct ancestors. And again, you'll get the full verse at the end on the 12th day, which is going to be this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. UTC. But Christine, would you like to read the wish again?
Sure. This wish says, Dear Santa, I've been relatively good this year, but I've also been too busy to add my stepmom and her family to the wiki. I'd be very grateful to you and your elves if you could add her and some of her family. Daryl Perry.
Nice.
And Kathy kicked this one off.
Yes.
Kathy is going to say something about this.
Well, I'm hoping you will.
Not only as I was going through the wishes, thanks to the newsletter that we just got slammed with wishes.
Yes.
It would be really helpful when you request a wish to make sure there is a profile for the person on WikiTree so that one of the 3 of us don't have to try and see if there's one, and if there's not one, go and create it. And this is one of the ones that I did create. Thank goodness I was able to, based on some information. If I did not have that information, this wish would not be for this day.
Right.
So please,
without the profile, I mean, the wish might not even happen.
Yeah.
Right?
And honestly, there are some wishes that do not have a profile. It's a common name. You know, there was an elf yesterday
But-
that was saying, "Hey, is there a profile for this person?" No.
No,
They
no.
tried to look to see if they created it. Would it come up a duplicate? Nope, didn't happen.
Mhm.
And there just wasn't enough information to be able to create the profile for this kind of common name.
Mhm.
So that wish is already dead in the water, as
Yes.
some of us like to say, because we can't do anything with it.
You need,
Yeah. And I would say even if you don't have the profile created, if it's connected to somebody, it has to be, usually it's connected to somebody in your tree.
Mhm.
Give us the profile that you're working off of. If you're looking for somebody's mother or father, give us the child's profile, and then we can leave the research notes there.
Yes.
I know we've had a lot of requests for, can you find the parent? Can you find the father, the birth father,
Mhm.
or find the right person? And as long as we have a place where we can leave all those research notes, then we've got a starting point.
Right.
And sometimes when they're requesting find a birth father or birth mother, because it does happen for some people, some of that can't be done without
Mhm.
DNA.
Sure.
So we also need to know if that's the case. Did you DNA test? That also helps.
Many things are helpful.
Mhm.
Many things are helpful, and we do have an elf that has been working on the ones that are needing the DNA
Excited to talk about that on the last day. Yes.
Yeah,
to help.
that's good. But you were able to get enough information, so we do have
Yes.
Daryl's stepmom. So, and her name was Judy Carol Wyatt, and then she married Perry, which was Dylan's father. And so there you can see there was two parents, two grandparents, two great-grandparents, two great-great-grandparents. So altogether, 8 direct ancestors. And the fact that Elf Kathy started this off and then Elf Stanley finished this off and added those 8, isn't that nice? We got 2 and then 2 to the exponent 3 to the power 3, 2 cubed number of ancestors, direct ancestors. It's perfect for the 8th day of Elfmas.
Christine, you knew he was going to have to put some math in one of these.
Just when you think you're like math free, it just sneaks in right
No.
Yes, it does.
Everywhere. There you go. So you thought you had escaped. But anyway, so this is the profile that Kathy created for Judy Carol Wyatt. And then sister. Oh, no, that's her. And there's a nice little biography there. She was born on the 24th of February in Selma, Dallas County, Alabama. She was living with Leon Wyatt Budd, with her parent. That's her dad, and her mother, Ida Mae. And then she was mentioned in a memorial. That's her gravestone right there. So if you look at the dates, 49 to 91, she was only 42 when she passed away, sadly.
That's so young.
So young. So, yeah, that's too young. So she married Joseph. She had 2 marriages, one to Marvin Ray Purcell. And then in 1982, she married Joseph M. Perry. And at that point, she adopted Joe's 2 sons, Rob and Daryl, Daryl being the wishy for this one. So after they got married, she adopted them. So that's how she is his stepmother that he was talking about in his wish. But look at those dates. Married in 82, passed away in 91. So only 9 years later. It's too sad. Now, it doesn't say what she passed away from. My guess would be, I don't know. I shouldn't guess, but something tragic, I would suspect. So,
No matter what, it was tragic.
No matter what, yeah. Accident or disease of some sort. Yeah. So that's too bad.
And I'm going to confess, I did not make this profile as pretty as this. So
Well, we could.
The elf did this because on the back end, there's so much work that we have to do.
Yes.
So it was just kind of a bare bones. As you can
Okay.
see, all those
There we go.
changes were.
So you created it. Then Elf Stanley did a lot of the work there, and then
Yes.
Daryl did some more editing as well.
Yes. So
Good.
the elf is getting the credit for that because, like
Well,
I
you
said, for
started-
those that I had to create, I just kind of did a bare bones. And I know another elf was saying, well, why isn't this profile connected to anybody? Because this lead elf was probably the one that had to create the profile for the other elves to have something to start with.
There we go. Okay.
Well,
So
at 300 plus profiles or wishes,
yeah,
we have a lot. There's a lot of work to do.
there's a
so.
lot of work, but no.
Yeah,
the majority of wishes, to be fair, the majority of wishes did have profiles identified.
yes, they did. They did.
So we thank
So if
the
anybody's
majority of
wondering,
people who
like
wished.
how we should maybe tell them how we do this. Maybe
Yes.
we need to spread some elf secrets.
Yeah.
So
Well,
when we post the
Mhm.
wishes
Mhm.
and we ask for your wishes, we go through all of those and
Yes,
we
we do.
try to find. We read every single one. We
Mhm.
number every single wish. We try to find the profile that you're trying to work from. We enter that in we have a master spreadsheet,
Mhm.
which Greg then at the end does some math magic or something, and it turns into the free space page that you guys are all working off of to find the wishes that you want to work on. There's a lot of
coordinating.
behind the scenes coordination.
And sometimes when you make your wish, less is more. Because I had gone to sleep. I was all caught up on the spreadsheet
And then
because I took that over this year, and I wake up and thanks to the newsletter, the wishes had
exploded
by the time I got online.
That's
And
good.
I was working in a way, and it's hard because, like Christine said, we read every wish. So when you see like brick wall on the wish, or what happened to, or they want to find a death record, or they find a birth record, that's information that's in there. We have to pull out what the wishy is wanting so that we can classify it. And some of that takes time, especially when you get the wishes that are kind of lengthy and it's talking about 3 or 4 different people. Then it's like
confusing. Yeah.
Very confusing, and I'm very easily confused. So that doesn't help. But I did ask if they could help, and they jumped on and they helped with what they could. So
yeah, that was good. Stephanie has a question before we go into details about this one.
Yes.
Do we have
my last count is 49 on the solved list and 9 in the officially brick-walled list. But I haven't gone through that this morning. So if you are working on the free space page and you have solved it, feel free to edit that free space page and put solved in the heading beside the wish number.
Yes.
And I will see it, and then I can pull that out. I can put it in the other list, and then I can look at it and we can talk about it in the live cast on Saturday.
Yep.
So I'd like to go through and show off these 8 ancestors.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I'm glad you. Yeah, we need that other information there too. But so Judy's parents were Leonard, and so now one thing I should say. So Stanley went through and added those 8 ancestors, and I think he added some other people as well to the tree. But we're just, for the number 8, we're just going to look at the 8 ancestors. And Stanley did a great job. He did all great research, found the genealogy for each of them, parent, sibling, spouse. You can see here. If there was military service, he put details about that was found in the records, and also the memorial if he found a record on Find a Grave or something like that. And then all of course, the sources are listed under here. Now, one thing that he didn't do when he set it up, he set up all these categories: biography, narrative, genealogy, military service, memorial for this one. Not all of them have a military service heading, but those are basically the ones. But the narrative he left blank so that the profile, so that someone else could come back and add that, because you know, he was trying to get it done in time. So he didn't, he left that part blank and just, you know, put the meat and bones. But when I was going through this morning, I thought, you know, it's kind of nice. I like to have a little paragraph or a little information on the bio. So I added the narrative for many of these profiles, but not all of them, because I'm going to show you how I added this narrative at the end. And spoiler alert, I'm going to be using some of the tools that have been developed. So
I use the tools all the time.
So, but anyways, so here's the narrative. So I'm going to read the narrative because it's a little more. So he was born on August 21st in Madison, Alabama, served in World War II, and then military service below, details about that. And then he got married in 1929. He was married in 29 in Birmingham before he went to World War II. Of course, had the 3 kids there, Judy being one of them, the stepmother. And then he died in 2004 at the age of 80. And has commemorated the Jefferson Memorial Funeral Home in Alabama. And his wife, Ida May, I did not do the narrative for her, but again, she was born in Birmingham as well and passed away in Alabama, in Trussville, Alabama. So let me go back to, let's climb the tree and check on his father. Virgil was born in Alabama. So all of this is, most of this takes place in Alabama. Virgil was born in 1899 in Alabama and married in 1920 and then died in 81 at the age of 82. So they lived nice long lives. So that's nice. Another thing we could add to these profiles, which a couple of days ago, if they were in the newspaper at all, think of the profile we saw a couple of days ago with all those newspaper clippings and whatnot.
Yes.
So that would paint an even fuller picture, because here we're getting the key points: birth, marriage, death, but we know the number of children, but we don't know a lot of the other flesh on the bones. So it'd be kind of nice to add that too if we had more time. But then again, and then
there's also a lot of profiles there, siblings that are listed that don't look like they have profiles yet.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Right. Yeah.
So there's a good opportunity to put on the maintenance category.
Yes.
For profiles need to be created for Alabama.
So let's see, what categories do we have? We have the Birmingham category, the Jefferson Memorial Gardens and a Barnes name study category. So you're suggesting
if there's a category, you go into edit mode.
Okay,
you
let's
can
do
look
that.
at the show the category picker.
Okay. Do I go to add any category?
You can do that one, or the one beside the citation button. You see the one with the
oh, that one there.
Yeah.
So you can type any word, a portion of a word. This is how I find my cemeteries. So Alabama, and then needs and profiles. And there you can see Alabama needs profiles created.
There we go.
And you can add that. And then at some point when we're doing a connect-a-thon, any team member who is working on Alabama can pull up this profile and add all those people that are missing.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. That's great.
And we have a connect-a-thon coming up. So
we happen to have one in a couple weeks.
Yes, we do.
Isn't
Perfect
that
timing.
Nice, nice. So now, when Stanley added the profiles, he stayed on the male line. So let's flip back, and there we have David's. So now we're at the grandfather of
The stepmother.
stepmother. And here he was born in Tennessee. So we moved to Tennessee, but he married Martha Ann Smith. They married in Tennessee, but then they eventually moved to Alabama. That's where they had their children, and then the rest of the children, the family from there on in. But here's one. Now, I did this profile or this narrative this morning, and when I was checking it, one of the things that's one of the links that Elf Stanley had put in was the link to the family search page. And on the family search page, there are 5 sons of David and Martha Ann. But only 2 of them have profiles here. So I did add a profiles needed created to this. And there's the 3 that are missing, but I put their family search IDs so it'd be easy to grab to them. I didn't make it a hot link. I should have done that too, but someone else can come in and add that, make those hot links or whatever. But if we go up to his father, and this is not necessarily the end of the line, but the last one that Stanley had done, you'll see this is what the profiles all looked like. So there's room for the narrative, there's the person's full name, and then there's the genealogy and the facts, basically, right? Birth, spouse, list of children. Now we don't have, obviously, see, we only have 1 child profile, so we obviously need more profiles created to get all of these children in. The entry from the census, and then the list of the sources. So here's what I did this morning when I went in and added the narrative. I clicked on the edit button, of course, and then I used, so I did a couple things. So first, oopsie, I'm gonna hide that. You don't see that. Okay, I have, no, maybe I did that. There we go. Okay, so this is my trusty little text editor. It's called Sublime Text, but you can use any text editor. I'm just going to use this to sort of as a holding point to store some information, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, go into biography, and I'm going to use the auto bio button. So I'm going to click on that, and then got the little shaky tree. It's thinking about it, and it's reformatted the profile using some logic and putting together in sentence paragraph form basically all the information. But when it does that, it reformats it, and it's possible to lose some of the stuff that you've got there. And I didn't want to lose any of the work that Stanley had done. So let me just get back to there, see how that looks. Okay. I didn't want to lose any of that work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that all. I'm going to put it in paste it into my text editor here. And then I'm going to go undo auto bio. So you might think, well, what's the point? Why'd you do that? Why bother going through that if you're just going to forget about it? And the reason is, there we go, sorry. The reason is because I like some of the stuff that it has, the auto bio does. So I'm just going to copy and paste the stuff I want. And that way, this currently right now, this is all Jerry's work or Stanley's work, wherever you want to call them. This is all the elf's work, right? And if I go to preview, you can see, there it is, right? There's the biography, just his name, narrative is empty, genealogy, the spouses, the children, all the stuff I showed you before. So this is all his work, but I'm going to copy and paste parts of the auto bio that I like. So for example, there was needs profiles created. It already figured out that, so I don't even have to go looking for that category tag because it's already there. And then I'm going to take out this single line bio, and I'm just going to put the story on, since he's already created a heading for the narrative portion of the story, I'm just going to put it all underneath there. And so I'm going to take this, copy all of this down until the death, which is, I think, right there. Now, you'll notice when you look in the text editor, there is all of that information is there. So I could have done all of this manipulating back and forth inside the WikiTree editor itself. But I didn't trust myself to do that. So I wanted to make sure I reverted to the original one. So that's how I work. But you couldn't do it all the thing inside. You just have to, as long as you're comfortable with it, with doing that, that's fine. But with a short period of time, I didn't want to risk ruining things. So this is the method that worked for me. And so we've all done that. So now let's look at the preview one more time to see if it looks the way we want it to. So now there's the biography with just a narrative. No, that's not exactly what I wanted. What have I done wrong? What have I done wrong, folks? Let me undo. Hit preview. Narratives empty, genealogy. Okay, so what did I want? I wanted to copy this. Oh, I only wanted to copy this first part of it. I copied too much. That's what I did wrong. And now, there we go. We've got the 3 headings we had before. So there's the narrative. Was born about 1836 in Alabama, married Harriet Newell Baker. Their son was David, and there's another marriage entry there. We probably don't need 2 marriage entries, so I could probably take out that second one because it's probably a repeat. Yeah, it is. Okay. So that's what we have. So I'm going to save that right now. So that was step 1 of what I did this morning. Narrative added, and we categorized something. But there's the possibility that if we go to his his place on family search, there might be even more information and more sources that we can copy over. So turns out here we are. There's James Williams Wyatt, right? James William Wyatt, 1830s. And so here's his marriage. We already have his marriage record. Do we have, let's see, and we already have the link also to the census in 1878, 80. Here's an entry for him in Alabama deaths. Now, is that his death or one of his children? That's for one of his children, yeah. And I suspect the other one is as well. But if we'd come across one that wasn't there, so say we wanted to add that, what you could do is we could go to that entry, that record entry, and I did this for some of the other ones where it was just a shell and it didn't have the full marriage or it didn't have the death record. I was able to do that. And so once I'm here at this record, then I would use the WikiTree sorcerer. So open that up. Now I know that's kind of tiny on your screen there, and I can't blow up. I can blow up the screen, but it doesn't blow up the menu that dropped down. So I'm sorry, I can't make that any bigger. But what I'm going down the WikiTree sorcerer menu, and I'm gonna choose build narrative with citation. So I'm clicking on that, and then I can go back to the profile, and I can go edit the narrative and add that line to the narrative, and copy and paste. James's daughter died in 1933.
While you're in there, Greg, do you want to do the Secret Santa stuff?
Oh, yes, we should. Okay. What do I add? Where do I find that?
That's it.
So we need the Secret Santa category for 2023.
Okay. Can I just type Secret Santa?
Yeah.
Well,
exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Look at that.
And then you want to put acknowledgements.
Okay, at the
And
bottom.
put your sticker at the bottom. And there should be
References should be
a sticker picker under the templates. I wonder, I haven't searched the templates too much, but there should be a sticker picker under the.
Oh, sticker picker. Okay. Acknowledgements. Is it a 2 or a 3?
Double. It's a double.
Double.
Caps lock is on.
Acknowledgements.
How old is
And what do we say? There was a phrase.
And then just put the sticker.
Oh, the
The
sticker.
template.
the store that we were in?
Where is it?
This is the product that.
Add, add sticker.
Yep.
That's why I have to.
Secret Santa profile, right?
Oh,
That should be the one.
It could be.
And the year is 2023, even though we're in 20.
Yes.
Update.
Dovetail is.
There we go.
Really, for sure.
Let's preview that. There we go.
There you go.
There it is.
Yep.
Done.
Many days.
Done like dinner. Okay, and there we go. So that's how I added to the work that Elf Stanley had done, and he did a lot of great work. So thank you for doing that, Stanley, and creating all these profiles and putting all of this information. Like, I mean, this is the main information, right? That he's got the primary information there. So plus the list of children, so we know which ones we need to add, and more profiles created were needed. So there you go. Good stuff. So if you're curious at how many profiles have been worked on during the challenge, look at all these. These are all the profiles that have been done during the Secret Santa 2023.
Just the ones that have had the category added.
Just the ones
Yes.
that have, yeah, there's others that haven't had the category added. So when you think about that, that's pretty amazing. Look at all these John Frenches. Okay. Yeah. And if you want to go even more down a rabbit hole, you could click My Connections and see how many you're related to. Oh, I have some cousins. Some of these are my cousins. Who knew? Wow. It's because I'm French Canadian.
Right.
Anyways. There we go. I think we'll show. Is that enough for our
I do want to point out when you use the auto bio that there are times, I've done it myself, is that some people will leave both the old profile plus the new one after using the auto bio and just save it without deleting the old profile, which throws up an error.
Oh, okay.
So we like to try and keep errors down.
To a minimum, sure.
So, but like when you had the death of the child,
Mhm.
that's something that can be added to the child. And if you have the needs profiles created category on that
Mhm.
person, then what they can do is they can create that child if it's not there with that death
Exactly.
information. Or if it's a birth, you can do that. So I've done that where I've added, the children in the list, but I've had a link to whatever source it may be as verification. So when somebody does come along to add them, that they have a valid source right there that they can just kind of grab. I would like to mention something that if you're researching an area in a certain time frame, it would be nice to kind of do a little bit of research and find out like the labels. I know Canada has different like Upper Canada and the different labels as far as the country.
The different historical periods, yeah.
The periods. In England, one thing that I'm always clearing suggestions on is the United Kingdom was not the United Kingdom until 1801. So
Right.
before that, you need to use the country, so Scotland or England or Wales, and not the kingdom. Northern Ireland was not Northern Ireland until, I believe, 1921 or 1922. Just like the United States was not the U.S. until 1776. We do have people that go through and clear those suggestions, but any way we can prevent those in the first place, it's nice. And I know a lot of people just kind of use the drop down and just click whatever. Look at the different choices you have, please. It is very easy. People like Greg and our other web developers come up with these apps to make life so much easier for us, so we can do some things quicker. And sometimes we forget that some stuff you have to do manually.
Sometimes.
So yeah. And if you say you're going to put a source on it by a certain day, please try to get back to that profile and source it.
Okay. Thanks for those messages, Kathy. I know it's important. Those are all important things to remember. Yeah.
Because we want WikiTree to be as accurate as possible. It's free. I know a lot of people are trying to get their information on WikiTree because it is free, because they want that history of their family someplace where anybody can get to it. Yeah. So we just want to make our tree healthier and kind of starting off. And like the profiles you showed today, they are different than the ones from the other day that had the newspaper clippings and everything. That's what makes WikiTree so unique, is in that edit box. It's you can put whatever text you want. And I think that's the one thing that puts WikiTree a step above, say, the other ones.
Well, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to show that was sort of the power of collaboration. That some WikiTreeers, they are really excellent at tracking down the meat and bones and putting that together, and that's their forte, and that's all they want to do for a profile, which is fine, because you need that skeleton before you can do anything else. But then there are other WikiTreeers who love putting together, crafting a bio. Now I use the tool for the auto bio, and I was doing some tweaking with it. And when I'm working on my own, I do like to craft the sentences myself and tweak it. But when you have that starter, that's a great starter, because that can speed up the process a lot. But some people like to craft their own and do wonderful jobs, and those people are amazing. So, and we need all kinds. And then there's others that go and add all the different bells and whistles with the news, people who are amazing at searching for newspapers. I'm not very good at searching. I hardly ever come up with what I want the first 5 times. But other people are amazing at searching at newspapers and find really interesting articles and stuff. So it takes all kinds, and that's what.
And a lot of that is just where you are and what area you research in. When we were talking about that profile the other day, and everybody, all of these, we're talking about all of these different repositories for newspapers. I would never know that because I don't research in that area.
Yeah.
So that's great. Well, we are going to be back here at noon tomorrow, Eastern time, 5 p.m. UTC, and I think that's 9 a.m. for out in the Pacific Coast, in the Pacific time zone.
Very doable for me.
Very doable, yeah. And anytime, all the other time zones in between, we will be here. So we look forward to seeing you then, and have a great day, and take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.